put yourself in his shoes. How would you feel? You had an argument with your spouse, you settle things, the next day they say they want to break up or divorce. Like, does it even make sense? I was screaming from the beginning to the end, guys. It was a good episode. Not gonna lie. Hi people, welcome back. If it's your first time, my name is Talia Adewale and this is DISBYDEM. Today we're doing episode 7 of Exchange. I know 8 is already out. We will do 8 probably tomorrow. I will upload 8. But I wanted to give 7 the respect that it deserves because it is arguably, but in my opinion, definitely the best episode of Exchange we've ever seen. Now, I haven't watched season 1 and 2, so maybe I don't know, but for me, this is the best episode of the seasons that I have watched. But before we get into it, go ahead, do all the right things. Make sure you hype the video for the week if you still have hypes, and let's just ball into it. Now, it's gonna be we're gonna take some time, and that's why I'm making this an individual episode, because we're gonna give this episode the time that it deserves. So, the episode starts out with where I start, anyways. The Glory making hangout plans with Wonku. I believe that he was in the living room and she came there. She did the whisper thing. She's really into this guy. I have my theories about the Glory and we'll talk about that more in episode 8. But for now, let's just get into it. Then the girls all get text messages that the chat room is open and there's somebody waiting to chat with them. So we see them having chats one by one, and they start with essentially all of them were supposed to have chats one by one, but we only see a few of them. They start with the Glory. And she's very much like just direct with all the questions, because I think initially she thought that she was talking to her ex. And then he says, he's asking the usual questions that they all ask. Do you have feelings for your ex? She was already exacerbated by that one. She's already huffing and puffing. He says, are you interested in anyone? And she thought she was talking to her ex by then. And then he hits her with the person hits her with the what do you like to do on dates question, and that's when it kind of like just switched for her, and she's like, oh, maybe not my ex, maybe this is a new person that I'm talking to, because it could either have been her ex or a girl who wants to date her ex. Those were the options. So that was the tip off. That question was the tip off that it's probably a new person, because the only person she's been talking to is Wongu, and she's already told him the kind of like they've had in-depth conversations about everything, their likes, their dislikes, and all that kind of stuff. Then we obviously see the 10th member, 10th single, and his name's Jaehyung. And who told me? I think it was Lee K that was like, yeah, that it is 12 participants. And yes, in season 3 it was 12. However, the two last people, the 2 doctors, came, I think, when they were in Jeju, and that's why I can't remember them. And for me, that was already extremely too late for them to be making connections. I don't know why they waited that long. I don't know if that's how they did it in seasons 1 and 2, but for me, Maggie should be Maggie when it makes sense to be a Maggie. If you're coming 2 days before you leave, what is the fucking point? Sorry, God, I didn't even last 5 minutes. What is the effing point, guys? What is the effing point? So we are introduced to Jaehyung, and he seems confident, but to be honest, I was not focused on him just yet. And this episode was just packed with a lot of revelations. It was tons and tons of just screaming. I tagged the episode Scream Fest on Patreon because I was screaming from the beginning to the end, guys. It was a good episode. Not gonna lie. Anywho, we then see him chat with Yoon Young and Min Kyung. And after his chat with Min Kyung, he decides then and then to ask her out on a date. So apparently he could have decided any point in time. Reason why he didn't choose Yoon Young is because he felt like she was chatting like his ex, very peppy, happy, and that's how his ex is. So he didn't choose her for the date. So as soon as he asked Min Kyung for if she would like to go out with him, I think that's what happened, and she said yes, the partition between them slid open. First scream of the season, guys. First scream of the episode. It was very dramatic. It was a very good reveal. Obviously, both of them were not expecting it, so took them by surprise. Back at home, we then see Jin Hyun writing a note, and obviously it's gonna be for you, Shik. So she is being very clear in notes, like telling him, I like you, I want to go out with you, being very, very open, so there is no misunderstanding. Jihyun then sees Hyunji up in their room, then sees Min Kyung getting ready and all dressed up, and obviously she knows that she's going on a date. Min Kyung doesn't come out to say because she's not allowed, but they put two and two together and they realize that, oh yeah, because I think Jiyeon was also there, that Min Kyung is going on a date. Now, because Baekhyun is also dressed up, Hyunji assumes that Min Kyung is going on a date with Baekhyun, and this was the beginning of her decline for the day, guys. As soon as they left, Baekhyun also left, so obviously that just solidified for her that he's going on a date. Even though it wasn't Min Kyung, it's just the fact that he was going on a date. She couldn't even eat her food. She lost all concentration, and eventually she goes up to her room and starts weeping. And it's like, I don't even know. Like, I don't even know how I feel about Hyunji, other than the fact that I think she's absolutely gorgeous and stunning. I still don't understand what it is that she has come to this house to do. Now, she keeps saying that, oh, it's not easy seeing her ex going on dates. And I was like, what did you expect? You've watched the show, right? You've watched the show. Yes, and I get it, expectation versus reality. But I feel like it's a tad much, considering she has not verbalized her intentions, either to him or to us. So if you want him back, tell him. I feel like this boy, they will get back together in a heartbeat if he knows that she will take him back. I get it that he's being stupid and he does a lot of things that are passive aggressive and sometimes just aggressive, you know, and downright just mean. But again, nothing has been verbalized between both of them. Nothing. He keeps saying the opposite of what he wants. And she keeps saying nothing, just going out to her room and crying. Like, girl was boohoo crying, guys. Boohoo crying. Oh my days. Okay, moving on. Baekhyun is actually on a date with Yoon, and we see them, they're doing this woodwork carpentry, they're making cutting boards or cheese boards, whichever way you want to use them. And during the crafting, he was just hyper focused. He cannot multitask, or so he says. He cannot multitask, and he was just hyper focused on his job of making those cutting boards. At one point he was even backing her, and I was like, God damn, come on. I mean, even at least face her, even if you're being hyper focused, you know, to completely turn your back on your date is I don't know, but let's keep watching, guys. Obviously, when they go to the restaurant, it was a lot better. But even rewatching it, guys, I still don't really understand or know if they talked about anything significant. Am I wrong? Am I the problem? Is it me? Because let me know in the comment section. She loved it. It doesn't matter. He could whistle and she will find it funny, because that's how, you know, sunk in place. That's how damn bad she is for this boy, you know? And I just don't like it. I think maybe if I trusted him a little more, I would have found the date cute, even though nothing was actually said. But I just don't trust him, and I just didn't trust it. And unfortunately, Yoon has decided that this is where she wants to be. So we'll just be at the end of the line with tissue papers for her at this point in time. You guys know me, I'm always ready. They did have a very flirty, or more than one flirty moment in the car. Even when they were at the restaurant, he had given her his bracelet, and I was like, I don't know. I just don't trust him, guys. I don't trust him. I don't trust whatever it is that he's putting up right now. I even went back to watch the, the trailer, and guys, oh my days. Oh my, knowing all of them now, you can clearly see who's in what scene, who's when what is happening, all the touching, all the physical contact was intense. There were a lot of sexually heated moments in the trailer, and I was living my best life. I watched it a couple times, guys. It's intense, and if we get to see all these moments, it's going to be a very, very heated season. I'm looking forward to it. Anywho, back at home, this is where the bombs started dropping one by one, guys. So we see Jihyun walk away from the kitchen, go downstairs, and go into Yushik's room. I thought that she was looking for Yushik. Maybe she was, I don't know. But Wongyu is the only one in the room, and he's laying down. Now she walks in and she sits down, and I was like, hold up, wait a minute. I was like, what? And then they are talking very, casual at first, very platonic. And then the tone changed. His tone changed first. And I was like, oh my God, the insanity. They are exes. I did not see it coming, guys. I did not think that the ex of Wongyu would be Jihyun. Not my baby Jihyun. Oh my days. I didn't see that coming. That was a blindside for me. And apparently it was a blindside for the host, because everybody was screaming. I was screaming. They were screaming. Everybody was screaming. Oh my, and the way the tone changed there. This, oh, I don't even know. The tone of their entire conversation was given passionately in love, and it just turned sour. But there's still like this what they call it. There's a way to describe it, like this love hate thing going on between them. Guys, I'm worried. I'm very worried. I don't even know who I'm worried for. I'm just worried all around because the intensity. Mr. All calm and collected, you annoy me, won't you? No, didn't see that coming. Anyways, that's where the screams really started for me. The exchange, I said it was tense. It was just very tense for some reason. And then they started going back and forth saying, you're doing well. Should I not be doing well? It was just a back and forth. The gist of the entire matter, and I'm going to be putting the blame on my baby girl for a bit here, because it sounded like, based on the gist of the conversation, she just came there to whine at him, if I'm being honest. Because she was like, she feels uncomfortable now, thinks that he doesn't wish her happiness, says that he's being cold to her, and it just basically sounded like whining. And I will call a spade whenever I needed to call it. It was the same scenario, almost the same scenario as Yushik and what's it called? What's her name? Min Kyung. But there was a level of maturity to it. Even with the next exes that they described to us, again, almost the same scenario, but there was a level of maturity to it where you know that these people maybe just more seasoned in their life experience, and they know how to interact in a way where it's not like I'm just berating you. Because Woggy was giving it back to her too. Don't get me started. He there says she annoys him. He's trying his best. And that he's seen signs of her that he didn't know were there before. They were giving it to each other. It was like flute for flute, man. They were exchanging it. She will pass the glass, he will pass it back. Like, that was what was happening in this conversation. And it was weird, guys. It was exciting. It was tense. But it was exhilarating just watching their dynamic. And I don't know who asked me this question, but you can check comments in probably the last video. But somebody had asked me who are my favorite exes. And guys, without a doubt, easy peasy lemon squeezy, Jiyeon and Wongyu are my favorite exes that I have ever seen on Exchange. I liked Dahe and Dong what was his name? Dahe and her ex, I did like them, but their interaction, you could see, was more just pain. That one was just pain. Every time they got together, it was pain. And that was too much for me. But this one. And when they tell us how their relationship went in episode 8, which we don't get it in this, we get it in the 8th, I understand why there's this underlining excitement even with them as exes. They're my favorite exes, hands down. So then as this exchange is going on, we then see that the Glory comes downstairs, and obviously she's coming to check on her boo. And again, I screamed when that door opened, and what's her name? Jihyun ran to hide behind the wall partition beside the door. This was where I had respect for Wongyu, guys, because he was just calm, cool, and collected. Didn't even stand up from the bed. That's how calm this guy is. So if the Glory had decided to enter the room, she would have obviously spotted, what's her name, easily, Jihyun. But he was just calm, just collected, talking to her, and it was a very short exchange. But the calmness was cold-blooded to me, guys. And I have to give my hands up to him. He is way more than the person that we are seeing on this show. I mean, he has to be. He's a medical professional. So then they skip over to Min Kyung and Jaehyung's date. And as usual, she's absolutely fantastic on the date. Another comment from somebody, I think Lee K again, was saying that they liked Min Kyung outside of what's it called? Yushik. And I have to agree, because even in this reaction I was saying it, that whenever she's removed from Yushik, I absolutely enjoy this girl. I really do like her. I just can't stand it when she interacts with her ex, because it brings out the immatureness of her. Because on this she's lovely. Now again, is she just, what's the word, is she just passing, basically just I wouldn't say she's pretending, but she's covering, I guess, just covering for what she truly wants. She's just pretending. In the end, she's just no, I can't call it pretending. I think she's just, what's the word? Sorry, I need to grab my dog because I think she's going to bark. What's the word that I'm looking for? I won't say she's faking it either. I think she's just covering. To be honest, I think she's just filling the void of what she truly wants with all these dates and interactions with these men. Because on the dates, she's so freaking tastic. She's cute, she's adorable. The men fall for her very easily. All of them are saying she's the best interactions that they've had, you know? So, outside of Yushik, great. But bring Yushik into the matter, I can't stand the girl. When Yushik is involved, guys, if we're evicting people from the island, I'm saving Yushik. Is what I've been saying. I don't know how that's going to progress, but let's keep on going. Back at home, we then see Wongyu ask the Glory to cook with him. And considering that we find out that the man can't cook to save his life, I thought this was a huge deal for him to go and meet her, because she's the one always coming to meet him, and I was finding that very troubling at some point. But he was the one who went to meet her and asked that they should cook together. So I thought that was a huge step for him, especially for a slow bone like him. Woojin then tries to take over. You know, he wanted to jump in with Wongyu and cook because he didn't know that they'd already set plans. And then we see him go into the Glory's room with her, when she was the only one in the room lying down. Same scenario as Ji-won and Wongyu. And then I screamed some more. Because why? They are obviously exes. Did not see that coming. Did not see that coming again. So the gist of the interaction between him and the Glory in that room at that point, it was mostly where, you know, the "I'm not interested in you" beat down. That's what I'm calling it. Began. And it was the Glory giving him this beat down left, right, and center right up to episode 8, guys. She just doesn't miss a hint to remind him that she's not interested. I think she does protest too much, but we'll wait to episode 8 to analyze that situation properly. So she tells him that she has someone, obviously, that she's interested in. She tells him that she's not just curious, she's actually attracted to this guy. And then we see their backstory. So they dated from March 3rd, 2024 to March 17, 2025. Is it just me, or all of them have been dating exactly to the month that they breaking up exactly to the month that they dated? Is it like they planned it? Anyways, if we're going by our timeline, it's been 5 months since they broke up. Most likely earlier, because I can't remember when they shot this. So a lot earlier. Essentially, he got too busy with starting his own restaurant. So he started his own restaurant. He was starting a business, and things got very frustrating for him, obviously overwhelming and all that kind of stuff. Before that, they had a very, very loving relationship. Extremely, the way they described it, both of them, it was very loving. They were both very supportive of each other. She even lost her dad, and he was there for her. Like, it sounded like they were on the right track, and then just being overwhelmed by starting a business. And even me, I said it in my reaction that starting a business is no easy feat. I've done it multiple times. I started running a business in Nigeria, you know, before, I think even before my mom passed away. I started running a business in university. That stopped. I then started after my mom passed away, and I kind of lost zeal. It's intense starting something from the ground up. Even doing YouTube, guys, and Patreon. You don't even know the amount of hours, the intense grind, just to put out one video a week. Much less, you know, multiple or whatever it is that we're doing on YouTube. So just starting anything from the ground up, it's so intense. So I understood where he was coming from, and I understood the feeling of being overwhelmed. However, the way he verbalized that to her was what shattered her heart. He'd promised her that whatever time he had would always be hers. And then when things got really dicey and stressful for him, because obviously time that they got to spend, it grew smaller and smaller and smaller with the intensity of him starting that business. So the final straw was when he told her, "You don't feel entitled to my day off. My day off is mine." And that broke her heart. And I feel like the Glory is a girl that will spite her nose to. What is that saying? You guys know what I'm trying to say. I feel like she's that kind of person, that, you know, say, for Nigeria, say, you hold on tight, she will hold on to the grudge, if it's the last thing. If she's sinking, she will hold on to that grudge until she sinks. That is the impression that she's giving me, because in episode 8, I do go into it and I say that, I think she's protesting too much. I feel like she's trying to convince herself and not the boy. But we'll get there in episode 8. So basically the way they broke off, and then that was his own fault. The way he verbalized it really shattered her heart, and he broke his promise to her. And then the way she broke off their relationship. So after that, they did have a huge fight. Then they met up. in a restaurant, settled things, and the next day she calls him, I think either a call or a text, I can't remember, but it was over the phone, which gross. You guys know me. Over the phone, she breaks up with him the very next day. You see, I both understood and hated both parts of the whole thing, the way everything went down. I understood her part for feeling the broken promise, and I understood his part for the breakup. Like, it just made no sense whatsoever. We just settled yesterday. So in that one-on-one that they do before they enter the house, the exes, she does apologize for the method in which she broke up with him, which was the phone, over the phone. She said that that was not right, and obviously she just couldn't face him because they just met the day before, just settled things. I think that was a cop out for her. And you know what, you survive the way you want to survive, you do what you gotta do, but at least she acknowledged that it wasn't right. But then she also goes on to tell him, I won't care about you, so don't care about me. I'm like, whoa, she was very direct. And I think at first I was like, okay, maybe she needed to be that way so that he can do what he needs to do in the house. But when she keeps repeating it, I have to call bullshit, guys. I just have to. Y'all know that I like the Glory. I like her. I like her directness. I like how she has been. But I have to call bullshit because I think she protests just a bit too much. Moving on, we see their clocks, and she leaves like maybe 10% for reconciliation or to be reunited with her ex, and he leaves about 30% for reconnection and all that. So back to the room with them having their one-on-one basic meeting. She tells him that she is attracted again to Won-kyu. His presence, says that his presence does not bother her one bit. Says that she should not care about her and she is not going to care about him. I was like, God, it was just like punch after punch. You know how Jiyeon and Won-kyu were like exchanging the glass? Sip, pass, or puff pass, whichever one you're doing. She was just sipping by herself. Goodness gracious. And he just had to sit there and take the beat down. The verbal beat down from this girl. I felt so bad for him because put yourself in his shoes. They do address this a little later, and we'll talk about it when we get there. But it was just blow after blow after burn after burn. I really felt bad for him, honestly. I could not. It was just, it was a lot. Then they go back upstairs. I skipped some parts, obviously, and she and Won-kyu go back to cooking, and Woojin is just sitting in the living room, like just dying, coming off the verbal beatdown that she just gave him in the room, and he has to listen to them get along in the kitchen, cooking together, being all romantic and, ish. Oh, Lord. So he leaves, Woojin leaves, goes up to that upstairs terrace, just to get peace. I guess what happens, guys? Just guess what happens. They follow him. In all honesty, Won-kyu follows him, and she obviously follows Won-kyu. So they're all stuck together in that upstairs. It was probably the most awkward 3 minutes. I don't know how long they were there, but it felt like a lifetime. And it was one of the most awkward things that we would ever experience. Not really. There's so many more, but it was hella awkward for sure. Yushik gets back, and so all of them go back downstairs. Then in between the time that they were downstairs, doing some more meal prepping and then hanging out with Yushik, she goes into her room and she is retouching her makeup, but obviously crying. And this was where I was like, okay, now I understand my bullshit that I'm calling, because I think that this girl definitely still has feelings for him, and she's trying to bury it because she cannot forgive him for breaking the promise that he made to her. She can't let go of that promise. You know how, what's her name? Sokyung, thank you. Sokyung couldn't get over the fact that, was it Juwon, said that she was gaslighting him. That is the exact example. Thank you. My mind coming through from me like Raphael. Thank you. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Otherwise, Tensura. And that should be a clue for all of you who know. That is what it was. It's definitely Sokyung who couldn't let go of Juwon calling her or saying that she was gaslighting him in their relationship in season 3. That is what is happening here with the Glory. She cannot let go of the fact that he broke his promise, to give her his time. And I don't think it's the giving the time, it's the broken words and the verbal, how he put it. The way he put it when they were having that fight. I think that is what she is stuck on, and she just does not want to let go of. So they all decide that they're going to grocery shopping. So it's a trio and Yushik. They cram themselves into the car. Obviously, Won-kyu is driving and the Glory is in front. So they're both, supposedly trying to have a romantic time, but Woojin is in the back just straight eyeballing her. Like, I want to see how you gonna be romantic with me. And this guy was very awkward. She was awkward, everybody was awkward, so they didn't really have that, moment that she and Wong Yu could have had it just been them, or at least them with Yushik. When it gets to the grocery store, I think she was just overwhelmed and it was just too much. Especially now that we know that Woojin is her ex and they've just been together this entire day. It's been a lot. So then she basically sends him off with Wong Yu while she shops with Yushik, just, I guess, getting a mental break from the entire scenario. Back at home, we then see that Ji Hyun goes back into Yushik's room and puts the note under Yushik's pillow. So I figured this way that her mission in the afternoon when she initially went to Yushik's room was double fold. She went there to have this interaction with her ex, but also figure out what space Yushik used, because then she knew what bed to go and put the note under. Imagine putting that note under your ex's bed. Oh lordy, that would suck. That would suck. By the time she heads back upstairs after doing her, mission and completing her mission and everything, the quartet is back. And so then she and Yushik are getting chummy. They're interacting. They're very much interacting with each other. And Wong Yu is there just getting annoyed by it. It was a whole ball of annoyance this episode. And screams from me and the host. It was pretty good, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I loved watching this episode. Every minute of it. Later on, we then see that the Glory goes to Wong Yu's room looking for him, obviously, but he is worried about Yushik. He says that he wants to spend some time with Yushik, and I don't know why he did that. I don't know, maybe he was thinking maybe Yushik is her ex, and so he didn't want to upset the balance or something, but for some reason he was very aware that Yushik was present, and he didn't want Yushik to know or see that they were spending so much time together. So she's like, don't worry about him, let's just hang out, but he wants to spend time. He almost even came out. He was wearing his coat, and then Yushik came out of the bathroom and he kind of removed his coat. It's like, come on, man, what are you doing? Even Yushik was like, what are you doing? But he doesn't go to hang out with her. So she goes up to the terrace. She passes the kitchen. Woojin was there, so goes upstairs. Woojin follows her, and then they have this interaction where she's really upset and everything. He brings up the breakup, and he's like, I just don't understand. We were good one day, and the next day you break it off. Like, couldn't you have at least given me time to show effort? We talked about it, we buried it. And in this, I really agree with him, guys. Like, if you were going to break up with him during that dinner, so that he knows that, okay, this fight led to this. Why settle things and then the next day you change your mind? It's not fair. It's not fair. I get it, he hurt her, but it's still not fair. You want to hurt him during the dinner and break up with him then. Like, if it just wasn't nice. And he's stuck in this rut, for the past how many months, thinking, we settled it, so what went wrong? Put yourself in his shoes. How would you feel? You had an argument with your spouse, you settle things, the next day they say they want to break up or divorce. Like, does it even make sense? So she's like saying that, she felt lonely in the relationship, that she had already thought about it multiple times, and that she just couldn't bring herself to break up with him during that dinner, but that she had made up her mind. And I get it. Everybody, you know what? Do what you need to survive. I get her point. I get his point. Both sides are right and wrong. Do you get what I'm trying to say in the grand scheme of things? From their problems to the breakup style is all I'm saying. She then reminds him one more time, guys, just for posterity, that she is not getting back together with him. She's crying while she's saying all of this. So it's a little hard for me to believe her. If she was just frustrated, about how things went down, I would get it. But I think that she is truly trying to convince herself that she doesn't want this man, knowing fully well that he's probably the love of her life and he made one mistake. Let it go. One mistake. Think about him being there for you when your dad died. Think about everything else. Yes, was it a bad mistake? Yes, but can you grow outside of it? Absolutely 100%. Do I think that they should get together? Absolutely. Get some therapy, get together, fix what it is, what was broken, because I think that they actually did have a solid relationship based on what they described to us anyways. So they leave that whole situation and they go back downstairs, and they're all gathered. Obviously Minkyung and Jaehyung are still not around, but the rest of them are gathered. The Glory comes down, takes a pillow and gives it to Wong Yu, basically just taking care of him. Jiyeon is there, Woojin is there, and they're all looking at everybody, and it's just like this, whoo, intense. So going back to Jiyeon and her whining, what I think it is that she can see that Wong Yu is doing so well. He has this this basically blossoming love that is going on with her. Whether she wants him back or not, guys, he is doing well and she's not. You know, she hasn't had time to spend with Yushik. She's barely been on any other dates with him. So she can just see her ex doing basically increasingly every day, better and better and better. And she's just stalled. So I think that was the frustration. And that was what led to all the whining, you know. But he also can see her being socializing, laughing, joking, being easy peasy free and everything. There's just so much happening in this dynamic. I love it. I love it, guys. I love it. Episode 8 wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. There was a little tension in it, but it wasn't. I don't think it will be as long as episode 7. I just needed to give episode 7 the respect that it deserved, guys, because it was a good episode. Simple as simple. Obviously. And if you didn't know, I don't know how many of you have gotten to this point, but obviously there are reactions on Patreon, so feel free to check those out if you want to. But yeah, I'll see you guys in episode 8, which should come out either today or tomorrow, depending, but it should come out this week before episode 9 anyways, or the same day as episode 9. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Toodles!